Coach, we'll start first with your first series sweep, the Southland Conference Series sweep of 2019. Kind of talk about that. Also talk about the marathon game at Texas A&M Wednesday, who just beat Alabama.
Yeah, we had a really good week as a team. Wednesday, obviously played at probably the nicest ballpark I've ever been to in my entire life. So for our kids getting to experience that was, possibly a once in a lifetime opportunity for these kids. The venue was beautiful. It was a great game. Ashley Creasel went out there and shut them down for 5. We had opportunities to score early and just couldn't manufacture runs. We had bases loaded in the 6th and couldn't get a run across. I mean, we were fighting. It was tight. It was a great game. We brought in Wilbur thinking, hey, we're going to, give her a little bit of work, let her close this game the next 2 innings. And we were committed too deep, and next thing I know, we're going 15 with an SEC team. My kids fought hard. They played hard. We got nothing but positives coming out of that game. I mean, what can you really say when you're getting 100% effort, attitude from every kid on your bench? Those are the games that make you better and make you really proud to be a part of SFA softball. Seeing your kids go out there, go head to head with the SEC opponent and not quit. Everybody fought, everybody played hard, and what can you do but tip your hat to A&M? So we had Thursday to recover, which we needed. We didn't get home until like 3 o'clock in the morning, so we had a little bit of hitting Thursday going into HBU. We knew HBU was better. If you look at their record, they're actually still above 500 right now, even though we won the entire series this weekend. They beat some good teams. They swept UTSA. They beat some people. They beat UTA in midweek, and I think UTA and North Texas are 2 really strong Texas Division I programs right now. So for them to go to UTA on the road and take them out 6-5, that showed me that HBU is going to be, a serious contender. We watched all the Southeastern games, and they gave Southeastern as much trouble as Southeastern gave us. So we knew that we had to play well defensively, offensively, and pitching. Once again, Wilbur was a rock star this weekend. She gave us 2 solid games. Creasel went out there and did her job. She threw really well until about the 5th. We got a little bit behind in the count and missed on a couple pitches, but Creasel gave us 10 really good innings this week. So I was really proud of my pitching staff. We were firing on all cylinders this week. Like, all of our pitchers threw well, and we missed maybe 3 pitches, and all those pitches got hit hard. But if you're looking at, hey, we're throwing 125 pitches a game and we're only missing 2 spots, you got to be really proud of your pitching staff for going out there and making adjustments this week and really competing and leading their team. HB was a good series. We were able to keep their leadoff batter in check. She was kind of their spark. Preseason pick, I think first team, second team. Really good kid, threw really well from behind the plate. They had some power. They when they hit the ball, they hit it hard. I thought Lindsey Gregory did a really good job behind the plate with the ability to shut down the run game. She did excellent back there for us. Really like what she's doing for us behind the plate. She gets better every single week. Proud of kids like Lauren Becker and Brittany Crawford. I thought both of those kids made adjustments game to game. It didn't matter if they were going out slow with Patak or in hard with 18 and or just trying to change speeds and keep us off balance. That third game with number 9, like Crawford and Becker were locked in. They were talking to Coach Farpin about approach, having a plan every single time, executed their plan. Really proud of those 2 kids for just being steady and consistent. And from this moment forward for the next 7 weeks, it's all about consistency. Like, if we don't have it down by now, we're probably not going to have it down by this next weekend. And our team strengths, obviously we pitch really well, but we play really well together as a group. We're not having to rely on one person to go out there and win us the game. If Corona's off, then we can have Crawford or Kinzel or Hedspeth pick her up. And then we've got kids in the lineup like Clemens and Novagill who are just steady and do their job. So for us, I feel like we're very balanced and we're very consistent. And it's been nice over the last 2.5 weeks. Our defense has been very clean. Very clean. Our bunt coverage looks good. We're shutting down the run game. Our outfield has made some really good plays. I mean, against A&M, like, it's a do or die. Like, for like 4 or 5 innings going late into those games. And it's like, hey, if that runner on second scores, guys, like it's ball game. So we're going for it. And to see your kids go out there and be able to execute and, shut people down like that, I feel like early we really struggled with some easy routine outs on defense. And right now we're very consistent on defense. I'm very, proud of our progress there. We're getting more comfortable. We're doing some good things. And we have options. Like, we have options off the bench. Like, I've got kids on my bench that could be starting for us right now, and a lot of it just depends on matchups and opportunities. So, we're in a really good place as a team, and I'm really proud of my kids. We had a good week. So.
Looking forward this week, you got 4 road games, Prairie View, A&M on Wednesday. The same trip, you go to Texas A&M, Corpus Christi for a series. Just preparing for a lengthy road trip.
Yeah, we gave them 2 days off for rest. I feel like rest and recovery is really important right now. So our kids have today off as well as yesterday. We'll do a light pregame practice tomorrow. I'll get some kind of laid back, feel good cuts in tomorrow, find some barrels, hit the ball hard. I feel like HBU did a fantastic job of letting us hit little flares and dribblers through, and kind of killed our confidence a little bit this weekend at the plate because they did so well as a staff. So we're going to really, fine-tune some things, square some balls up, hit the ball hard. Prairie View made the NCAA tournament last year. We're going in there this week. We're going to play them there. They're going to be athletic. Last year I think they had a lefty pitcher that threw pretty well. So they're going to be above average in the circle with, once again, 2 to 3 kids at the top that, you have to manage. That are going to have some power. So I think it'll be a competitive game on the road. We'll probably give Linus the ball. Her velocity looked really good. She threw some really good bullpens last week, so Linus will probably go. So I'm excited to see her get out there, get some quality work in. She's a kid that, we're really going to need. So I need her to go out there this week and do her job and let her defense work and get some strikeouts, mixed speeds, things like that. Going into Corpus, playing Corpus at Corpus. We've never actually played at Corpus. Last time we were there, we were like flooded out. We needed a helicopter out there and a pump to get all the water off the field. So we spent like 4 days at the beach in the hotel in the rain. So we're excited to play there. I'm expecting, from what I've heard, we're going to be facing the elements. It's a really windy park. I don't know if it's going to be blowing in or blowing out or blowing across. But it's wind will definitely be a factor. So for us, it's all about executing and making adjustments. So if we know we're going to be hitting into the wind, our hitters have to execute and hit the top half of the ball, put the ball on the ground, hit line drives. We can't be flying out. Another thing that I've been really proud of my team after the A&M game, going into the HBU series, we were able to manufacture more bunt runs, hit and runs, things like that. So we were able to do a little bit more small ball stuff, put some things in play. So we'll probably have to kind of rely on that a little bit this weekend if it's windy. I think Corpus does a good job. I think they've got 3 quality coaches who do what they do for their staff. They do really well, whether it's coaching their pitchers or hitters. I think, it's going to be, once again, a competitive series. They've been in every single game. I think Southeastern may have got to them in a couple of the games. They're returning 2 arms, 2 pitchers that we've seen last year. They throw hard. They move the ball. And I think it's going to be a good series. From this moment forward, like if you look at the conference standings right now, there are like 7 teams tied for 3rd place, at 6-3. And it just shows you the strength of our conference this year. Like everyone is good. And it's just, I really feel like this is going to be the year where we get 2 teams. Last week we dropped the ball when we could have beat A&M and, really helped our conference get that 2nd team in. But you look at UCA to go in there and upset Baylor, Power 5 program, and then McNeese going out there and beating Lafayette in like walk-off style. It just shows you like the Southland is real and we're getting better, and, we're getting to the point to where we should be getting 2 teams in. And, we definitely need to be working together towards that goal. And I really feel like this is the year where we could get 2 teams in. It's tough. And once again, that's an advantage for my team because we're very blue collar. My kids are very humble, and it doesn't matter if it's McNeese in the dugout, if it's A&M in the dugout, if it's HBU in the dugout, if it's Corpus in the dugout. Like, we're going to go out there and we're going to play SFA softball, and we're going to control us, and that's really all we're focused on. We don't look past anyone. So I expect for us to have 4 really competitive games on the road, and for me, I would really like to see our offense catch fire this week. This would be a really good week for us to get a little bit of confidence at the plate and hit the ball hard. Because we have good hitters. We have depth. I've got 3 kids off the bench right now that, I think are great hitters that we don't even have in the lineup. So for me, I would really love to see our hitters go out and have a plan and hit the ball hard, and see us be able to score within like 4 to 5 innings of each game. That's really my goal for the week, is to see our offense do more than relying on one big inning, because that's kind of what we've been doing over the last couple weeks. So I want to score in multiple innings and really get some confidence in the next 4 games offensively as a unit.
Thank you, Coach.
Thank you.
Team's gotten back in action, starting the outdoor season. First 2 meets. First, you compete at the Louisiana Classic, and then this most recently this past weekend at the Pair UTSA Invitationals. Talk a little bit about how the team's performed in those early invitationals here.
Well, it's been a lot of fun the last couple of weeks. I mean, this time of year we get around spring break. It's early. You transition from indoor with the NCAA championships to outdoors. So our goal was to go to Louisiana for a 2-day meet. Get some good training in, get some good competition in, good weather, and have a little bit of fun. And last weekend also. I mean, we're here at spring break. We're training, and we had kids here who wanted to be here during the week and voluntarily were here training, and just really appreciated that. Really loved seeing how many kids were engaged and just trying to get better and help our team. And that was just a really nice thing to see. And then we went down to UT San Antonio, had a real competitive meet with some phenomenal national level programs, and we did very, very well with that. And so I'm just really pleased with the last 2 weeks. In addition to UT San Antonio, we had a group of distance runners who yearly go down to Rice for the Bayou Classic and compete down there. Kelsey Ramirez continues her quest for just superlative week after week. And for a lady who's a miler, she ran the 800 this past weekend and 2:09.99, which is a great PR for her. So she's raring to go. And Taryn Surratt also had an exceptional weekend too in the 1500. And so that's setting things up well for them when they, along with Brittany Ennis and Awet Baraki, head out to California this week for a good matchup out there. Get some great weather and some great conditions to run some fast times.
I know it's a small victory on when you consider the end goal at the end of the season, the conference championship and that sort of thing. But you see a couple players get athlete of the week last week. What does that mean for those individuals? And what does that kind of do as you're reaffirming kind of where the team's at this year with their performance?
Well, it's DJ, getting running event athlete of the week was just really nice. She's a senior. She's appreciative of everything, happy, but also low key about things. So, but she was pleased about that, and that reflects well on our program. Kayleigh Bozel, another one. She steps up and just gets just a hair's breadth under 14 feet. At the meet at TCU that she went to with our volunteer coach, Jeff Erickson, and had a great meet. And so we now have 3 women, 14, right at 14 feet or better, with Madison Pico now in the mix for us. And so those are 3 heavy hitters that we have. And Kayleigh, she's very humble, but she also always knows that she could do better. If she set the world record, she would always feel like she could jump an inch or a centimeter higher. So we love Kayleigh, and we love the effort that she brings every week.
And you touched on it already, but talk a little bit about the action your team's going to be involved in this weekend, obviously beginning with Texas Relays and what goes into that and being a multi-day meet.
Yeah. Well, first of all, it kind of simulates, except for the relay format, it simulates a national level of effort. And because it is where the NCAA finals are, a lot of people are coming from all over the nation. A lot of teams are coming from all over the nation to compete in a very prestigious meet. And we want our best and our brightest to be there. So we're not just running to run, we're running to achieve some great things, to break some school records, again, to hit some West Regional marks, to set us up well for the month of May and into June. And, it's all about going in, being prepared, being detail-oriented, and competing on Thursday, competing on Friday, because everybody wants to come back on Saturday in front of the big crowds and perform at a high level. So I think our relays are ready. We've got some really, really good relays set up. But what our kids, our young men and our women, and I know our coaches are preaching to them, that this is not just a relay, just show up and just run a mediocre relay. There are going to be a lot of people watching us either in our white or our purple compete at a championship level. So recruits, high school coaches, parents, fans, other teams from other programs, especially within the conference, people want to know how we're doing. So what a great opportunity for us to show what we can accomplish.
All right, thanks a lot for coming in and giving us an update on your program. Best of luck this week.
Thank you, Kevin.
UCA grabbed that first game on
Yes, sir.
Friday night. 3 runs in the third is going to wind up being enough. Just talk about those next 2 games really. For the first time this season, we saw Jackson Covington kind of pitch like a freshman.
Yeah.
You have a perfect storm of events. A UCA team who've been struggling offensively, and they kind of turn things around. Just talk about some of the adjustments, and how do you preach like, hey, now that these scouting reports are coming out, people are going to know what you're going to do, so you have to make those adjustments.
I think that's the biggest adjustment that any newcomer to the Division I level has to make. Hitters, pitchers, there's not scouting reports in high school. There's not scouting reports at the junior college level. And so you get here, and those scouting reports start floating around, and every week something gets added to it. Every week you tip something a little bit different that maybe you did in the previous week or they didn't get a chance to see. And so it makes it increasingly difficult to be successful as you go through the year. It's almost like you have to keep reinventing yourself. You have to keep working at the things that you struggle at. And I think UCA had a great game plan on how to attack Jackson. And no doubt, after this many weeks of the season, I believe it was his 5th start. After his 5th start, people start to get a book on you. And if you're intelligent enough and you're committed enough to stay hooked to that plan or that that blueprint, then you got a chance to win. And I think that's what they did.
You kind of go just Palmer had a little bit of a control issue there.
Mm-hmm.
And when you mentioned this too, just kind of 2 heavyweights going at it really on
Sure.
Friday night, and just talk about his ability to just kind of persevere before turning things over to your bullpen there in the back.
Yeah, anytime that you have a game like that, when you have the guy who's such a good pitcher like the guy they threw out on Friday night and Palmer going head-to-head, I think sometimes those pitchers expend more energy trying to match each other pitch for pitch. I think it's a situation where they use a lot of emotional energy, and it tends to wear them down a little bit, as you saw in their guy and you saw in our guy. That's the first 2 weekends that both those guys have not gone into the 7th or deeper into the game. Both of those guys were mentally and physically drained when they were pulled off the mound, and I'm sure that they had to drag theirs off the mound just like I had to drag our guy off the mound. He wanted to go back out. He's a competitor. I'm sure their guy was the same way, but. We felt like we had a strong enough bullpen. We felt like we had it set up like we wanted to, and we felt like he had done his job up to that point. And I felt fortunate to get the innings that we did out of him and put our bullpen to work, and they did the rest.
After kind of a tough start of the season, Carson Flowers kind of comes around here. I think he batted 300 for the 4-game stretch this past week, and just having that presence down there at the bottom of the lineup, and from a freshman standpoint, how difficult is it to kind of catch up and get into a good group for your first year?
Well, that first one's always a hard one to get, and I think he spent more time worrying about getting that first one.
Yeah.
and I think it weighed on him heavily, and I think it meant mentally it took him out of his at-bats because it was more concerned about getting hit than he was about having a good at-bat. And then once he got the first one, it was like you could see his total demeanor change, and he got a little more relaxed, and he got a little more into the game, and got a little more into the feel of how guys were trying to pitch him. And as a result, he's given us a better hitter at the bottom of our lineup. 7, 8, 9, what you want from those guys is just to keep turning the lineup over to give us a shot at the top, doing some damage. And they did a great job of that. And he's done a great job of that. In conference, I think he's hitting a lot. I know he's hitting a lot better than he is over the entire season. And I think it's just a situation where, like I said, that first one he got, now he's on a roll. Now he feels a lot more confident when he goes in there. Now he doesn't feel like it's such a daunting task just to get a hit.
After 3 weeks here, yourself and Sam tied first for the standings right
Mhm.
now after 3 weeks. Talk about this series coming up with Southeastern. Early on, they found themselves, searching for their offense a little bit. They
Mhm.
obviously found it this past weekend when Abilene Christian comes to town. You know that they're going to pitch well. You know they're going to do the little stuff well. Just talk about this week as a whole and how important that is to kind of, regroup and, kind of get things going here so we can continue to move forward.
They're always a good team. Southeastern's always a good team. They're well coached. They've been well coached for many years, and they do a good job of just bringing the game to you, understanding who they are. And I think that was the issue with them offensively early, is they just took them a couple of weeks to find out the kind of offense that they are. And then once they find out what kind of offense they are, they all buy in, and they all try to get it done and stay hooked to what they do. And so I think that's the issue with them. They're always an offense that's going to try everything. They're going to bunt, they're going to run, they're going to move runners over, a lot of small ball stuff. I think anytime that you can get them away from that, I think you have a chance to beat them. I think the most important thing with Southeastern is you have to keep the leadoff runner off of base. When they get the leadoff guy on, they really, really get excited. Then their whole offense opens up for them. It's almost like if you can take a screen pass away from a good football team that loves the screen pass, if you can take that away from them, well, then you can kind of maneuver through their offense. They're the same way. If they get the first guy on, then their whole playbook opens up for them, and you have to really focus on doing that. For us, what we have to do is we have to do the things that we did good in the first 2 weekends. We have to pitch. We have to play defense. We have to take the outs when they're afforded, and just do our best to minimize what they can put up on the board. They're going to pitch well. They always have. They're going to play defense well, and if we get in a situation where we're giving up big innings, 4 or 5 runs an inning, then it's going to be very difficult for us to come back. So that's really been the focus, and that's really what we're going to work on moving forward, is just to try to eliminate the big innings, continue to do what we do, and just put us in a position to where at the end of the game maybe our offense can score.
Coach, before you get the Southeastern Series here, which is obviously a big conference series, you get Houston coming to town on Wednesday.
Mhm.
A team that was at the NCAA tournament last year. They've
Mhm.
always been historically great here in Texas. Just talk about that matchup, that out-of-conference matchup during the middle of the week for y'all.
That's a tough matchup for us, just because, one, you're not using the arms that you really need to beat them. You need a Friday night starter to go against them. You need a Saturday starter to go against them. You need a Sunday starter. Those guys need to be able to pitch. Of course, because those guys pitch on the weekends, they probably won't pitch in the midweek, especially on Wednesday when it being pushed back so far or closer to the weekend. So you're looking at some guys who are going to have to really step up and pitch very well, who may not have pitched very well for you through the course of the year. So that in itself provides a huge challenge, because offensively it's one of the best teams that we're going to play all year long. Pitching-wise, they're going to do good. Defensive-wise, they're going to do good. But the offensive side of it is the side that we're going to have to try to eliminate. And if we don't eliminate that, it's going to be a very long game for us.
When y'all go to games like that, I know it's Houston coming up here, but so it's 2 hours from their campus, and they have a lot of East Texas recruits that probably won't even get to play in the game, but those families are going to come from Lufkin and Knack and from a few of the towns where they're from.
Oh, no doubt.
On the team. So what do you tell your guys about the atmosphere, just trying to stay calm with the atmosphere, because that might be the biggest home crowd they get this year?
Yeah, I mean, that always happens. There's always people in the stands, and what's funny is it's always people that I see in the supermarket walking around here in Nacogdoches, and they'll be on the other side rooting for U of H. I mean, it happens every year. What we just have to do is you can't get too caught up, no matter where you go, into what's going on outside the white lines. You have to just control what you can control, and that's inside the white lines, and control your effort, control your attitude, and control your energy. And if we can do that, win, lose, or draw, I think we'll be where we want to be.
Yeah, so the way that our season works, everything counts towards selection from day one. So obviously we put an emphasis the entire year, but in the past, and this year included, we've had a really successful spring semester. We start out early every year. All of our student athletes, a lot of them compete at the Junior Team USA Trials in Vegas, which is one of the best tune-ups you can get coming into your season. And then we start immediately after that competition into our competition, traveling all over, the United States. We had a big push in January at the Kutztown Invitational, one of the biggest NCAA events of the year, and we were able to stay in the top the entire time and ultimately win that. It was the first championship for us since the NCAA championship quite a few years ago. So I think it put everybody in a good way that we felt like the work that we were putting in, we were seeing the benefits of it, and to push us to work harder because we knew that we were capable of more. And so, to be in a field that large and that competitive and be at the top that early in our spring season, I think gave us some extra motivation. We traveled a lot the second semester, so just being able to keep in tune and make sure that we weren't getting overloaded with the bowling and the long weekends and schoolwork as well, but making sure that we were ready to go every weekend and reset ourselves when we got back here and got very short practice weeks in. We had our best tournament in school history in Orlando at the Sunshine State Classic. Going 13-0 was the first time in school history we've ever done that. And it was pretty awesome to be a part of, especially, we didn't bowl extremely well the final day of the event. We were behind going into the championship match against a team that we've played many times, both on TV at the national championship and, all season long. So to see the girls really dig in and get grit and be able to come back from being as far down as we were to be able to win that title, I think really showed them that the hard work and the work that we've put in the lots of hours were paying off. It's a process, and that's what we keep reminding them, you have to believe in the process. You can't let the results drive your determination and our work ethic. It always has to be there, no matter if we're not seeing them or not.
Talk a little bit about how this team has been able to be so successful even after losing the senior leadership from a year ago. Obviously, Stephanie Schwartz, the only four-time first-team All-American in NCAA bowling history, losing her, a couple other seniors as well, and then being able to kind of rebuild this year, but rebuild and be successful.
Yeah, last year we graduated 3 seniors that saw significant playing time with us throughout their careers here. One of them being Stephanie, who was a 4-year All-American. And so, I think at the end of the year last year, we kind of had that discussion that, we need to be better as a whole. Everyone really needs to put the work in over the summer and work on the things that we've been consistently working on at practice to come back ready so that we don't have to start over when they get here. We reiterated that a lot towards the end of the season. I think that as much as it was not enjoyable to miss the NCAA championship last year, I think that was a little bit extra drive for everybody because nobody wants that feeling of being there and then not being there again. And, they knew when we told them, you have to put the work in if you want to have a chance to be there. And that involves everybody as a whole getting better. And so I think that through that conversation and maybe through a little bit of heartbreak that we had last year, that people really buckled down and really worked hard this summer to come back ready to go so that we didn't have to do a whole bunch of revamping again at the beginning of the year. The seniors that we have this year have really stepped up and really taken charge, of their leadership role. On this team, we don't have captains because we believe that everybody's capable of being a leader in a different way and that everybody has their roles. So we've never had captains here, but I